Good evening, everyone. Tonight is Tuesday, July 28th, 2026. I'll call to order the North Liberty City Council meeting. Tracy, could I have roll call, please?
Fortney.
Here.
Leibold. Park.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Wason.
Here. Item 3 is approval of the agenda. There are no changes on there. Could I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Smith. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Our agenda is set. Item 4 is our consent agenda. Is there anything on there that you want to talk about separately?
Excited to see the street dance. The permit's coming up for the street dance. August 22nd.
Could I have a motion for approval then?
Yes.
Thank you,
So
Paul.
moved.
A second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Wason. Any other questions or excitement? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Item 5 is public comment. Now it's time for anyone in the audience wishing to let council know of something on their minds. You've got the floor.
Good evening. I've spoken to a few of you already, but my name is Erica Wade, and I am currently a member of the Cemetery Board. I've been a member since July of 2021, and I've been honored to serve with my fellow North Liberty appointees and the Penn Township trustees. I'm here tonight because of Resolution 2026-87, the 28E agreement between the City of North Liberty and Penn Township for the maintenance and upkeep of Alt and Ridgewood cemeteries. Though I am not happy with the probable dissolution of the board, I do understand the reasons behind it. I will continue to volunteer and assist the Penn Township trustees with Ridgewood and Alt Cemetery. There is a lot of work still to be done. Continued stone repair, information updated for burials, looking at the erosion control on the north side of Ridgewood with the county, and hopefully installing a flagpole at Ridgewood Cemetery. At Alt, we want to map it and start stone repair and restoration, which has been difficult because of the cows in the fields, which are not there anymore. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about the cemetery board, and that I will continue to volunteer. And thank you for allowing me to be on the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. It's a true pleasure to have you on that board, and you're just an example of folks in our community that are enthusiastic about what they do and how they serve. So I normally don't talk after public comment, but I wanted to publicly thank you for being a part of that and your enthusiasm. So for those of you in the audience or watching online, if you have not yet had a chance to look at our packet, you'll see a wonderful example, or many, of Erica's enthusiasm and what she's doing to help our cemeteries. Is there anyone else out in the audience wishing to address council on something not already on the agenda?
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to start saying thank you for your time this evening and the consideration. My name is Nick Morella. We live on Mary Lane, towards the very end of it. I'm going to refer to some notes here. I apologize if I'm looking down as we go. We love North Liberty. We have loved North Liberty for a long time. Have really enjoyed the growth and the opportunity to see the city grow around us. As people have moved in, we've had a ton of new cars in the area, and especially on our street, we have a parking resolution that we had put forward, both ourselves and our homeowners association, Rob, our president from our HOA, to have parking on only one side of our road. Last time it came up 2 weeks ago, we didn't have the chance to really discuss it or for us to voice kind of the concerns or specifics around our grievances that we've had. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to list a few of those now. To start off, parking, obviously, with parking on both sides of the road, it's very narrow. It's difficult to navigate. Just at the end of the day, it's hard to get up and down. We live at the very end of the street, so twice a day at least, we get to go all the way up and down both times. It's a real bear to get around all the cars. Both my car, my partner's car, my former roommate's car have all had the collision avoidance automatically trigger while going around the curve on our road because people park so far out from the curve that it gets a little difficult to navigate. Garbage trucks are unable to get down there very easily a lot of times. When they get down to the end of the road, they're not always able to back down, so they try to turn around. We frequently have our garbage getting hit and spilled. We have garbage going all over the place. It doesn't always get picked up. Snow removal is really difficult through there with parking on both sides of the road. They're only really able to clear in the middle. And often by the time they get down to the end of the road, the piles have gotten so large that they're not able to go any further. And our section of the road remains completely unplowed. Deliveries block the road, which is frustrating. Anytime there's appliances, furniture, new people moving in, they park right in the middle of the road between two cars. You can't get by them. It's made me late for work. It's made me late for client meetings because I'm unable to get by. There's no driver in the truck. You sit out there and you honk. You try and see where they're at. Doesn't matter. You can't get anybody. And then the worst, I guess, is last year in April, we had an incident where we needed to call an ambulance for myself. The ambulance had a really difficult time navigating down our road. Once it got into our driveway, they were unable to navigate back out of the driveway without hitting our neighbor's truck. So the incident's already cost, our taxpayers money in repairs for both the truck and for the ambulance for the city. Some of the things that we wanted to just say in support, we already have one-sided parking on all of the new roads and expansions going forward out there for us. The street to the north of us is already one-sided parking. All we really want is just to be able to take advantage of the same amenities and services, whether it's the garbage, the snow removal, whatever, that everybody else gets to take advantage of that we all pay for. So I wanted to thank you for your time, and I hope you guys vote to push that through. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Is there anyone else wishing to address council on something that doesn't have a public hearing already attached to it?
Hi, Council. My name's Luke. Definitely didn't plan on speaking here today. It's kind of been one of those things that snowballed a little bit. I live near Liberty Center, around that pond area, and it's a beautiful place. Me and my wife go there with our 4 kids quite often. They had this like storybook deal there. It's like a story walk. Real cool. Kids love it. We were walking there today, and they had something there about gender identity. A lot of kind of like transsexual influence. And I have to say that I kind of opposed to it. I would request that there be additional people looking into this issue or coming up with these stories that are that kids can see. My kids range from 7 all the way down to baby. So they ask questions, I have to answer them. And I'm all for being inclusive. We love this area. We love the people. I'm not trying to get this book banned or by any means. In the library, I talked with the director of the library today. She said that she alone is the one that makes the decisions, what is to be shown. She gave me, Ryan, your point of contact, and said that, you're her boss and I could go reach out to you. I'm sure she was in contact with you today. Try to keep it really professional. Even met with one of the HR ladies today. I got basically 5 days off work. I never have time off work. I saw it and I was like, why not just see if anyone feels the same way as me? That's all I have. Trying to think if I want to add anything else. Kind of didn't really have a plan for today, but just want you to know that that's there. I contact even the sponsor of the Story Walk. It's a credit union bank. Asked them if they knew that this was being sponsored by them. So I've kind of done everything I can do. Just want to bring more awareness. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Luke. Anyone else in the audience? All right, seeing none, I will move on to our engineers report. Josiah.
Thanks, Mayor. All right. A lot of construction updates for you guys tonight. The community center parking lot, we talked about this last week. The entrance on Community Drive has been reopened. So you can get access to the north parking lot from Community Drive from the north. The south parking lot is still open. You can get access there from Cherry Street. But that next phase, the west connector parking lot on the west side of the building is now closed for reconstruction. So going according to plan as far as the phasing goes. But for Evergreen Road in Jasper, the underground utility work in the vicinity of the roundabout is nearing completion. There's still storm sewer going in on Jasper, the street that goes all the way to the north there. When that work gets done, they're going to be ready to start getting the roadway lanes and roadway base and rock ready. So we'll see paving probably in 2 to 3 weeks, and you'll really start to see that pieces of that come together. I wanted to update you on an old project from last year, the South Fiber project. For those that are around, we had a project to install conduit and expand our fiber network on the south side of town through a lot of the main arteries. There was some delays and things, and we had to coordinate with the DOT and the University of Iowa for fiber, but that's all been coordinated and finished, and so that project is done. Next would be the Penn Street interchange. The southbound on-ramp was closed starting today. So the southbound on-ramp at Penn Street is now closed. There'll be a signed detour route utilizing Forever Green Road to access I-380 going south. And the public notice we got from the DOT said that'll be 2 to 3 months for reconstruction of that. I also wanted to note the northbound off-ramp still remains closed. It's the one that's been under reconstruction. Our latest updates from the contractor indicate sometime mid-August, we think that northbound exit ramp will be back open. So once that happens, we'll just be down to the one ramp closed. The next item I have is sort of related to that. There was a question about the temporary traffic signals that were installed at Highway 965 and 120th Street at the Swisher Shoeyville exit. So we did follow up and talk with the DOT staff about that. Those temporary signals were put in because just like Penn Street, they're redoing the Wright Brothers Boulevard Bridge. And there was a ramp closure, and so they were sending detour traffic down 965. They installed temporary traffic signals there to mitigate what they had planned for a lot of extra traffic coming from the north. So as of now, both the DOT and the contractor are hopeful that they think they might have that Wright Brothers Boulevard ramp open sometime next week, perhaps. And if that happens, they would also take down the temporary traffic signals at that time that were put in for the detour. So at that point, the intersection would go back to its previous condition once the Wright Brothers Boulevard ramp is functioning again. So that's the latest we know on that situation. And then I was going to bring up one more. This is a Coralville project, but there was a public notice today that Coralville they'll be replacing the railroad crossing on Forever Green Road over by the Hy-Vee, back behind the Hy-Vee there. And so between 965 and Front Street. So beginning Monday, August 3rd, that section of Forever Green Road will be closed, and that'll be through August 13th. So that will be fully closed, and the railroad will redo the crossing and build new crossing panels and smooth that all out. So that'll be a nice improvement. But that is from August 3rd, and it's expected to be reopened August 13th. And that's all I have, Mayor, aside from questions.
Thank you, sir. That's a great list. Does anyone have any questions for Josiah?
Josiah, any idea why they're doing the railroad crossing? They never use it.
Why Coralville's upgrading it?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's been pretty rough. I don't know the details. That may have been on their list.
More road usage than it is railroad issue.
Yeah. For the road crossing of the railroad, yes.
Okay. Understood.
Anything else? Ryan, I'll move to item 7, which is the city administrator report.
Thanks, Mayor. Just one item for me this evening, and it's also related to road improvements, and that is tomorrow at 3 p.m. we have a groundbreaking for the Forever Green Road East project. This is, as you know, a phased project, probably 3 to 4 phases, depending on how generous the federal government will be with allocating funding. We have invited Congresswoman Miller Meeks to this groundbreaking. She was very helpful in securing $2.5 million for this first phase. And so we want to thank her for that, as we will continue to make those requests. We actually have a request in right now that She is helping shepherd through the process for $3 million. So with any luck, by the end of this year, we'll know whether that will be available. All that said, groundbreaking tomorrow, 3 p.m. At the location where First Avenue Extension and North Liberty Road meet at that roundabout just south on North Liberty Road. So if you can be there, that would be great. And that's what I have tonight, Mayor.
Any questions for Ryan? All right, I'll move on to my report. Just two meetings that that I've been to. I was at the joint entities meeting last Monday on the 20th, hosted at Johnson County, and the only agenda item there was discussion of and working towards a working group for the data centers, possible data center ordinance. Right now, Johnson County has placed a moratorium on data center construction through November, and Greater IC is considering and requesting us to, as a region, to put together a group just to talk about what we need, don't want, things in that project. So if I'm not speaking out of school here, I think we've got a member of staff that will be helping us out in that way, and that'll be convening here hopefully in the next month or so. That was the only agenda item on there for that. Paul, you sat there with me. That was pretty much it today. Or was there any other flavor of the meeting?
No, that was it.
Besides that,
Did you say so that our representative will be a staff member?
I'm hoping so. Okay. Yeah, someone with some knowledge on that. So that was about it. We had an MPO meeting that I wasn't able to go to the week prior to that, and Councilmember Leibold sat in on that for me. I greatly appreciated that. So with that, I'll move to item 9, which is council reports. And I added this agenda item when I first took over a few years ago as a way for you all in the public to know and hear from these folks when they're not in the meeting, things that they're doing on your behalf out there in the community, whether they're attending meetings, going to a circus, you name it. So now's their time. Not obligated to talk, but if there's anything they want to catch us up on their goings on, this is their time.
Well, if you drive down Forever Green Road and get about to where we're building the roundabout, you'll see a new building that's actually popped up quite quickly, and that's going to be the emergency management storage building. And they are really moving along on that. It's roofed and sheathed, and they're already doing the inside stuff. And they think they'll be done ahead of schedule. And then I did go to the MPO meeting at the last couple weeks ago, and we approved the transit improvement program for the fiscal years 27 to 30, and that includes all the projects that get federal funding. They have to be on this plan, and so the city staff helped develop that, and then elected officials work on it and approve it. And so North Liberty in that fiscal year period is about $7 million of money that's coming in to work on some projects, including Dubuque Street, a couple phases of that, Ranshaw Phase 6, which is the last little piece going into Coralville, Forever Green Road Trail Extension, and then, of course, there's the project we're working on with Coralville. So quite a bit of funding for North Liberty in there. And the cities all work pretty collaboratively trying to figure out where the best need for things are. So,
thank you, Brian. And real quick, could you remind us how and why you know so much about the emergency management building? What group do you sit on for us?
I'm on the Emergency Management Agency Commission for Johnson County.
Awesome. And you also represent us on the MPO as well. Thank you. Anyone else?
I can go. I attended the Affordable Housing Legislative Forum with a couple of our Iowa representatives. It was a very good conversation about new laws and situations that were passed over the last session and possible things that we might want to address in the future. And so that was very interesting, and I really want to continue to work on that and see where we can go to help in the affordable housing area. I attended the tail end of the Elemental Circus at the Hy-Vee Centennial Center. I tell you, I've been going to several events, and I just love going out there. it's just been, everyone I've gone to has been successful, in my opinion. And I want to do a huge shout out to the performers, all of our vendors and supporters, and of course, all of the audience and participants and guests that make these events a success for North Liberty. I wanted to address Erica. With your email that you sent, I wanted to say thank you. Your dedication, your heart, the work that you have done is amazing, and I appreciate that, and just wanted to say thank you. And your dedication to do so, even if the cemetery board is no longer. So that is amazing. So, and one last thing, I think next weekend I'm going to start working on the women's build for the Habitat for Humanity. And so anyone who, likes to get their hands dirty, get, physical and wants to participate, Habitat for Humanity is always looking for volunteers. You can get on their website, habitat.org, and get involved and build a house. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Tanya. Is that it, guys? All right. Let's move on to item 10, which is our traffic regulations ordinance. And item A is a public hearing regarding proposed traffic regulations ordinance. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address council on this agenda item, this public hearing? Seeing none. Tracy, did we receive any written?
No.
Okay. As a heads up, we're going to do this a little bit differently if these things ever come up in the future, because they're very much we're following state rules as they change. So we're going to do it this way one last time, but it may not happen again for another couple of years. We're most likely just going to condense these into a one agenda item instead of spreading it out like we are right now. But first, let's get to first consideration of ordinance number 2026-07. This is an ordinance amending chapter 62.01 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances concerning motor vehicles and the law of the road. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Wason, seconded by Fortney. Grant or Ryan, could you just quickly let us know, let the audience know what we're doing?
The Reader's Digest
Thank you.
version is that at one point in time, speeding penalties used to be set based on if you were speeding 1 to 5 miles over the speed limit. That penalty would be different if you were speeding 1 to 5 miles over the speed limit in a 35 mile an hour zone versus a 55 mile an hour zone. And so all of the different tiers of speeding at the state level were divided into above 55 or 50 or under 55 zones. The penalties have actually been the same for some time now. Now this year, the state moved the 55 mile an hour speed limit to 60 miles an hour. And at this and so doing this, why are we doing this with the 55 and over and under? It's the same penalty. So they got rid of that altogether. So there's no more distinction at all between whether you're speeding in this zone or that zone. 1 to 5 over is the same in any zone. Our code, like almost every other city, adopts by reference the state code. And so when the penalties at the state code level or the charging options change, our code needs to change to reflect that so we don't accidentally write a ticket for an offense that doesn't exist. To be fair, it's very unlikely that we would, because the only 55 and over spot in town is under the exit 2 overpass on the interstate. But still, we should make sure that our code comports with reality and with state law. That's why we recommend approval. And we recommend going ahead and expediting this, as the mayor mentioned. And that'll be the next item on the next subparagraph on the agenda.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Could I have a motion I'm sorry, Tracy, could we have a roll call, please?
Smith,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. And as mentioned, item C is consideration of waiving the rules requiring 2 considerations prior to final passage of an ordinance with respect to ordinance number 2026-07. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
I'll second.
By Park, seconded by Smith on this one. And let's do a roll call. Tracy?
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0 as well. And finally, item D is third consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2026-07. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 62.01 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances concerning motor vehicles and the law of the road. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Wason, seconded by Fortney. Additional comments, questions? Tracy, roll call, please.
Fortney,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 11 is LSTJ Holdings, LLC rezoning, and item A is public hearing regarding the proposed rezoning. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address council in a public hearing for this rezoning?
Hi, my name's Corey Hodap. I was just going to drop off a picture of what we're talking about doing, and I'll talk about it briefly.
Mayor, I believe
Corey,
this
you're
is
going to
the,
have an opportunity, your own agenda item. It'll be coming up here in just a second. Just hold tight. No, not you, not yet.
Presentation.
Hold tight.
Which one were you?
You'll be under applicant presentation.
You're the applicant. You stay right there. Does anyone not related to Corey have an item? Anyone else in the audience wishing to address council in a public hearing for this? All right. Russ, I'm going to turn it over to you. Item B, Staff and Planning Commission recommendation, please.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. This site probably looks very familiar to a lot of us. This is where we're at City Hall. I was obviously members up here were there much longer than I was, but this is the Quail Creek property on Rancho Way across from Hawkeye Drive. It's 2.67 acres. Currently, the property is zoned C1B. The request is to go to C3, which is our higher intensity commercial district. Future land use map designation is urban high intensity, so proposed zoning would be consistent with the current future land use designation. The applicant, I'm sure you hear a little bit about some ideas they have, is the rezoning is intended to construct something a little bit more or higher intensity, higher density. Certainly the C3 district allows for a variety of uses, commercial, mixed use, or multifamily residential. Gives you a little bit more building height. So it would be anticipated that these buildings would be demolished and the property would be redeveloped. I'll let Corey share any redevelopment plans that he has at this time. I would note that due to access restrictions on Rancho Way, kind of drawn a curved red road, which is just a line I drew of just how possibly a road would come off the back and connect up possibly to the south. But we would not allow these additional roads, if this were to be developed commercially, to have individual accesses off of Rancho. So there would have to be some kind of separate access. But we will work through that as we get further along in the development process. We did have a virtual Good Neighbor meeting on June 24th. It was just Corey and myself. There are no objections to the request. And the Planning Commission did have one finding and unanimously recommended approval at the request at their July meeting. I'm sorry, it was at yes, it was the July meeting. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions for Russ? All right, Corey. Applicant presentation.
Thank you, sir.
So Corey Hodap here to talk about the project. Our vision for this project is a mixed-use development, more of a destination, but it will have residential, commercial, structured parking, pool amenities, and rooftop social gatherings on the site. It's an H-style building. Half of it, or the north tower we call it, will be a hotel, and then the southern part of it will be apartments. So that's where you kind of get the mixed use of it. The middle has a connector that'll connect the two towers. Have a pass-through where people can check in and check out. And then above that, on the second floor, we'll have a pool and different amenities. And then from there on up, we'll go to a rooftop patio for the social gatherings. But so that's basically all it consists of. Any questions?
We're considering a rezoning tonight, not necessarily how it looks or what doors go where. So do you have any questions for Corey?
As far as the land that goes south, is that, I mean, it looks available, but is there any prospects for that also being able to be developed?
Not at all. Same ownership as the golf course.
Gotcha. Looks amazing from my seat. Looks pretty awesome. And you said a hotel. How many rooms do you plan?
It's, we're still going through the design process on it. So once we get our zoning passed, then we'll go into the design to figure everything out.
Is the intent of that the H to kind of face Rancho?
Correct. So as you come off Rancho, it goes straight through the building, and that's where you'll enter into the lower parking stalls.
Any other questions?
Would the mayor be able to run the excavator when it comes demolition time?
I don't have the same animosity towards that building as I did others. I appreciate the offer, though. I'll reserve that for a special occasion.
Mayor doesn't have any animosity towards any building.
Thanks for clarifying.
Okay, we won't talk about it.
No,
And
thank you,
actually,
Corey.
real quick, I've heard of other, like the fire department, when it comes to demolition time for something like this, that they could use that potentially to train. I don't know that we've done that, but could that be a possibility? Not to put you on the spot, but.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible, so.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item D is first consideration of ordinance number 2026-12. This is an ordinance amending the zoning designation for certain property located in North Liberty, Iowa to amend the planned area development within the existing. Is that the right agenda item?
It should be,
That's not how this reads.
yeah, it should just be,
First consideration of ordinance number 2026-11. This is an ordinance amending the zoning designation for certain property located in North Liberty, Iowa from C1B General Commercial District to C3 Higher Intensity Commercial District. Could I have a motion for consideration? Thank you.
So moved.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Wason,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries. That was my fault. I just jumped ahead. Let's move on to item 12. This is the Emory North Liberty 3LC rezoning. This also has a public hearing regarding proposed rezoning attached to it. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address council on this? I'll close the public hearing and move over to staff and planning commission recommendations. Russ.
Thank you, Mayor. This is just under 6 acres on the west side of Jones Boulevard, just north of Hayes Lane. Interestingly, this project began construction in 2022, and this is really the last phase of the development, which is pretty wild to think of how far this 80 acres has come over the past couple of years. I think we've worked well with the developer out there, and the Haverkamp Group is the same applicant that's constructed the multifamily, so they would be constructing this phase as well. I've spoken with the applicant a bit. Just some things have changed over the past 4 years that is compelling this request. Currently, the property is zoned RM21. It will remain RM21 previously, that was approved as a PAD. A PAD is an overlay district, and so the RM21 zoning stays, and the PAD lays on top. We call that an overlay district, and allows for a variation of uses or setback waivers. In this case, the request is allow for several single-family homes on one lot on private streets. I'll show a rendering on the next couple of slides, but the land use is urban high intensity, so the RM21 zoning is consistent with the UHI designation. We had always kind of anticipated that this portion of the development would be higher development or higher density. Let's see. So this is the previous PAD. It was kind of shows all of these single-family homes here. And then this is the proposal. So we go to here, you really kind of see the same layout as far as streets go, generally speaking. It's a private street on the inside. but these were multiple single-family homes. I think I have a typo at the front. I apologize for that. But these were just single-family homes on private streets. Normally in conventional subdivisions, you have public streets, and single-family homes are required to be on public streets. So they did the PAD to allow this type of development. It's really just kind of internal to that overall development. And this proposal, they're proposing townhouses on the exterior, and then in the middle is 3 12-plexes. And so showing an area where the setback waivers are, they're really just kind of internal to the site along the south, along the north. The setback would remain the normal setback, the required setback along Jones. So really, I don't think there are really any what I would consider external or exterior kind of setback waivers that would impact the public in general. Here's some renderings of the townhouses and then the 12-plexes. We did have a good neighbor meeting on that same day. It was the June 24th. And again, no one outside city staff or the applicant attended, and there are no objections to the request. There was one finding, and the Planning Commission accepted that finding and forwards the request to the City Council with a recommendation for approval. And that vote for approval was 6-0. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Russ. Are there any questions for Russ before we move on?
Russ, where's the parking for the 12 plexes? It's hard to tell there. Is it centric?
So they have
attached to the north and
yeah.
south
So each of the units. So you can see the garage spaces. So each of these units will have garages. You can see them on the north and south side. And then if you actually look over, I guess would be southeast of the 12 plexes, they have additional parking on that side. And then on the east side of that private street, there is parking for guests as well.
Okay.
So they're actually exceeding what the code requirement would be.
I wasn't crazy about the way that housing was probably going to look on a map, but looking at those units, they're pretty unique. The way those garages are lined up on those 12 plexes inside. Any other questions for Russ? Is there an applicant presentation?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jake England, and I'm with the Haverkamp Group. Unfortunately, tonight I don't have any vacant buildings to offer for destruction from the fire department, given this is raw land. As Russ alluded to, this is our third phase of the Emory North Liberty project. We've been delighted with our work with the city to this point and are very excited about the opportunity here for a third phase. Really, the reasoning for the request is simply over the last few years, the cost of single-family home construction has rapidly accelerated. So we kind of went back to the drawing board, looked at how we could add a little bit more density and bring our costs down to really make this project economically feasible. To your point, Mayor, we do think that this unit mix provides something that is unique to the community, something that kind of fits between a single-family home rental and an apartment rental. So it's something we're very excited about and happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
Any questions for Jake?
Yeah, I just looking at it when we did the original plans, I would have much preferred single-family houses out there because I think a lot of people are not wanting to, they may not want to put a lot of money into a house or can't at the time, but really, they want their own place. Mm-hmm. And basically all we're doing is undoing that which we had originally planned on doing in the first place because there was some intent behind the whole project. So I'm not particularly impressed with that. However, the buildings look very nice.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
Apologies to council on this error last time, but now we are officially doing the first consideration of ordinance number 2026-12, an ordinance amending the zoning designation for certain property located in North Liberty, Iowa to amend the planned area development, PAD, within the existing RM21 multi-unit residence district. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Fortney. Any additional questions, comments?
Just a comment, Mayor. I think for me, I agree with Councilor Wason on this one. I wasn't thrilled to see the change. I'm very heavily reliant on our Planning and Zoning Commission and the work that they do with these. They pour a lot more time into these than we do. We see the final products. So that's how I'll be voting tonight, is with their recommendation.
Thank you, Brent. Anything else?
Mayor, may I add one more thing? With the PAD, this site plan becomes binding with the zoning, just as it did last time. Hence, this is what you're seeing is essentially what's going to get developed unless they change it in the future. Thank you.
Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Wason,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Thank you all. Motion carries 4-0. Item 13 is Penn Township 28E Agreement for Cemetery Maintenance. This is item A, resolution number 2026-87, a resolution approving the 28E agreement between the City of North Liberty and Penn Township for maintenance and upkeep of the Alt and Ridgewood cemeteries. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
Still moved.
Second.
Moved by Wason, seconded by Fortney. Any questions or comments on that?
Could we just have a little explanation so people understand what we're...
Sure. We discovered an issue last year when Penn Township, their size had increased and they had additional trustees. And so they said, hey, how are we going to figure out how many people get appointed to the board and so on? And as you know, these people have done tremendous work, and Erica's not alone. As we looked at it, we realized that the way in which the city has been operating with respect to appointing folks to the board is contrary to what is provided for in state law. They don't jive. And so in order to preserve the spirit and the effect of how the city has been working with the township trustees and the cemetery board over this years, we've put together a 2080 agreement that rather than having a joint board, which all of you would be members of, and would be rather to create an agreement where the township trustees can appoint volunteers to serve on their committees, like Ms. Wade. And then the city would maintain financial oversight. So this is already, it's been approved at their county level. They've agreed to this, and the trustees are okay with it. And this is just our end of once this is signed, then this would contemplate us repealing a couple measures of our own the city's ordinance, which wouldn't technically aren't applicable right now anyway. And so this is a way to get things technically right, which is, I guess, the best kind of right. But it's to make things line up as they have been operationally, and then also be legally effective. It's gone on for a long time because there's not been any problem. It's been really well managed.
Works really well.
And the city will continue its support as we've been doing all along.
That's what this contemplates. Yeah, everything that the city does, they would continue to do, with the exception of the mayor would not be appointing members to the board, but I think we would be certainly willing to announce when there are membership opportunities and encourage people to participate.
Thanks. Welcome. Anything else? Tracy, could we have roll call, please? Fortney,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 14 is Penn Street Edition Final Plat. Item A is resolution number 2026-88. This is a resolution approving the final plat for Penn Street Edition, Part 1, North Liberty, Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
By Smith, seconded by Park. Are there any questions? Tracy, go have a roll call, please.
Park,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Fortney.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 15 is Greenbelt Trail, Part 6. This is resolution number 2026-89, a resolution approving the final plat for Greenbelt Trail, Part 6, North Liberty, Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
By Wason, seconded by Smith. Any questions? Tracy, roll call, please.
Park,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 16 is the FY 2027 social service agreements, and item A is resolution number 2026-90, a resolution approving the social services funding agreements between the City of North Liberty and social service providers for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Fortney. Ryan or Grant, would you mind just updating mostly the city, the council knows this, what's changed about our social service funding agreements, and where are we in that process?
Sure. This is year 2 of our 2-year funding cycle. So what's changed? Nothing this year, although last year we made a change where social service agencies are required to fill out one application for North Liberty, Coralville, Iowa City, United Way, and then each organization can independently score those applications and provide the funding that they wish to, which is what we did last year. So this year you have a bit of a reprieve in terms of the scoring process, where this resolution would approve the same amounts as last year, and everything is included in the FY27 budget. Next year, then, we'll be back to scoring applications.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, I would just add, I've talked to a couple of these folks that have gotten these grants, and one of the biggest values for them in the 2-year cycle is their budgeting ability, so that they know what's coming, they can count on it, and it's been very helpful to the ones that I've had conversations with.
It's great to hear.
Couldn't we, because this is going to last for 2 years, is it necessary to get these agreements signed every year, or can't we just do it once and have it last for 2 years?
No, because we still have budget control, and if we get to a point where we're not, it's best to commit just for 1 year, because if we're in the budgeting process and there just aren't funds there, it gives the city council a little bit of discretion. And in the social service agencies, they understand that. They know that that's a potential.
Thank you.
Anything else? Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Fortney,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 17, the selection of a construction manager at risk, CMAR, on a guaranteed maximum price contract. And item A is resolution number 2026-91. This is a resolution approving the selected construction manager at risk, Myron Construction. Could I first of all have a motion for consideration, please?
I'll move that, Mayor.
Second.
Moved by Smith, seconded by Wason. Ryan, I know that you've got some support in talking about this topic, but you want to start us off and let us know what's going on here.
Absolutely. With us tonight, we have Fire Chief Brian Plotz, who was part of the interview and scoring committee, and Natalie Updahl with Shive Hattery, who helped manage this process. As you all know, this was the first time the city's used the CMAR, or Construction Manager at Risk process. So it was a learning curve for us, but also I think an experience that will be quite beneficial to the project. And as a reminder, the project is the Cherry Street Firehouse project, which consists of expanding the water maintenance shop and the parks maintenance shop so that we can relocate the fire department when those projects are done, the shop projects, tear down the fire station, rebuild it, move the fire department back. So a lot of moving parts. It would be pretty difficult probably to put a specification together all at once and go out for bid like a traditional project. So the construction manager at risk process, we think really makes a lot of sense. And so I won't go through step by step unless you have further questions, but essentially there were 5 city employees, our Parks Director, Guy Goldsmith, our Water Superintendent, Greg Metternich, mentioned Brian Plotz, our Fire Chief, myself, and Josh Harrison, our facilities manager served as I'll call it the scoring team, for lack of a better term. I don't know that we gave ourselves a name. So we'll call it the scoring team. We first looked at qualifications from 9 different contractors. From there, we scaled it down and invited 5 contractors to interview. One contractor decided they did not want to go through, decided they did not want to go through the interview process after proposals were submitted. So we received qualifications. We then received proposals, which included their financial, what they were proposing it would cost to manage the construction, and then we did interviews. And through all that process, you saw the scoring in the packet. Myron Construction came out on top, and our team feels really good about the process and how we came to that decision. So I think I'll leave it there, and if there are questions, certainly myself or Natalie or Chief Plotz can address those.
Any questions so far?
The only thing I kind of took out of the whole, looking at the people who applied, stuff, there was actually really quality firms that were looking into this and stuff, and some we work for, and people who are working around the area. So I feel pretty good that the project will be done well, and so, which is like my number one priority.
I think that's a really good point. It was not an easy process to pick and choose, because it was a good problem to have, but there are a lot of quality builders out there. So obviously Myron is who we're recommending, but I think there were a lot of folks who would be capable.
My comment, Mayor, would be this obviously is important through the entirety of the project, but to me, even more so at the end, punch lists, final completions, the smaller ticketed items when the building's up and the windows are in and the doors open and people are coming and going, vetting those firms and making sure they're going to finish. Starting is easy, finishing is hard, and finishing the right way is hard. And so that'll be something that I'll have a keen eye on, is obviously start and through construction phases, but how do we finish as a team, and specifically the contractors, to get it right before the contract ends.
Anything else?
Just a quick process question for me. So the maximum price, so what we've seen now is kind of how the price that they're gonna, it's gonna take for them to manage the process, but then that maximum price comes later. So we're choosing Myron, but they haven't given us the maximum.
Right, and
price
so
yet.
what happens is as we get through design, and we still have to talk about, that'll be part of the contract negotiations as to when they're gonna, what point in the process will we agree upon to get that maximum price? And so we'll set that, and then we get to see every single bid that comes in. So unlike this project is an example, we've got one bid from the contractor, and that was the number. We didn't see what the subs bids were, and there were a lot of subs, of course. So that's one of the distinctions of this process. We are involved. They call it open book. We're involved in every aspect, from the porta potty rental to the framing contractor.
Anything else? Natalie or Chief, do you have anything else to add? You come all this way, but it's okay to not.
Yeah, we were just here to answer questions.
Okay. Okay. Thank you both for your time in this. Quite a process. With that, Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Park,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney.
Aye.
Thank you all. Let's go build a fire station, huh? Awesome. Item 18 is Commercial Drive Improvement Project, and this is resolution number 2026-92, a resolution approving the standard form of agreement between the City of North Liberty and Shive Hattery, Inc. for the Commercial Drive Improvements Project. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Wason, seconded by Park. Any questions? Oh, we got a map up on the board. Ross, you doing that to us?
Yes.
Anything you want to add?
No, this is just a great connection, and please recall that the internal drive to Urban Central District will come off commercial, so that connection down to Zeller Street will be great. I mean, it's saying, think about people actually kind of be able to come up commercial into the development as opposed to come out to Rancho Way, and so it takes traffic off of that street, which is really part of our overall strategy for road building in this community.
That's awesome.
And then Linder Tire they'll have plenty of access.
Yes.
Awesome. Tracy, go ahead, roll call, please.
Smith,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 19 is the Dubuque Street Trail Project, and this is resolution number 2026-93, a resolution approving the standard form of agreement between the City of North Liberty and Shive Hattery for the Dubuque Street Trail Improvements Project. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Parks, seconded by Smith. Any questions about that?
I just, what are these panels for the railroad?
They're really expensive.
Yeah,
All right.
What is that?
Well, they're precast panels that they can't just pave sidewalk or concrete through their tracks. They have to have a special. So they've got to build these panels, and then we would pave our trail up to those. So they want to control exactly what's on those tracks, and whether it's a street or a trail.
I'm excited to see this. This will be a nice connecting point there. People use it already, but now it just keeps them off of the road.
This is an important one.
Yeah. Are there any other questions? Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Park,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 20 is our parking resolution, and item A is consideration of a motion to remove resolution number 2026-85 from the table. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Smith. Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Fortney,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Now we'll move back to item B, which is resolution number 2026-85. This is a resolution approving parking control devices in the city of North Liberty, Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Park. Hopefully everyone's got a chance to do their homework, drive around, do some research. Because I get to go first on this one, I'm in favor of both of the recommendations for Parkview Court and for Mary Lane. I'm not necessarily in favor of the one on Ash Court, though. There are very few parking spaces available over there, and I think they've got just an issue with one of the tenants in there that needs to put some cars on a different street or their driveway. So I'm going to make I don't get to do it, but I'm going to ask if we don't do that on Ash Court, but I'm okay with Mary Lane and Parkview Court.
So Russ, remind me, how many residents are affected there on Ash Court?
I believe the number's 15 or 16, probably because it's an even number. I will add to what the mayor said, it's a zero lot line development, so you have two driveways there, so there's not a lot of space on that street.
So we're talking a difference of how many spots?
I think I counted a total of 14 parking spaces,
about right.
possibly, if you parked on both sides of the street.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was there earlier, just from Silver Maple 2 into there, you could park a few cars early on before the houses. The problem became down on when you got to the circle. So I think it may be we need to move the no parking in the circle sign to the east a little bit and just leave everything else alone. But I think we could do that, as a different thing. and stuff and leave the rest of it. And I think I would be okay with that. So, but I would be in favor of Parkview and then Mary Lane doing the as proposed and stuff. So I would. How do I have to do it now, Grant?
So yeah, we need a motion to amend the resolution. The resolution as it is right now is hey, let's adopt this chart.
Right.
Right. And so the motion you would want would be to amend the chart
To exclude.
to reflect.
Yep. So I would move that we amend that to exclude Ash Court.
Russ, can I ask, what is the width on those?
Yeah, just real quick, do we have
Oh,
a second?
sorry.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, fire away.
What is the width on those streets for each of those areas?
They are residential streets, so they'd be 29 feet from backer curb to backer curb. So that means the travel distance between is 28 feet. When you have parking on both sides, we generally say those are about 8 feet each. And so you have that space in between, which is not a ton. It's navigable, but if you have somebody coming down, you kind of have to get out of the way. It's less of a concern when you have a cul-de-sac as opposed to a through street.
And it's the same on all three, I assume.
Yes. And that's the reason for the current policy that we have, moving forward. I think we've recognized that and said, that's that travel width. And I always say if you have, 28 feet of travel distance, that gives you enough space for 2 10-foot travel lanes and 8 foot of parking. So that makes sense for the 28 feet.
And the reason this is up there is because we've had somebody contact us with a concern. We have one in favor, one opposed. That's why I'm kind of with Brian. I'd rather it's, we're back to neutral. Just let it be.
So, and I think we could probably just add a little chunk right there, but that could be done later.
My problem is if they're all the same width, how can we have a different policy for different? I don't think there should be parking on both sides. And part of that is having worked with fire and dealing with the emergency responses through these narrower right-of-ways, and that's a concern that I would have.
That entire development, I've said this since before I came on council, is the world's smallest cul-de-sacs in that entire development that should have never been allowed, but here we are.
That was quite a discussion at the time.
Is for a new development, we already have it so you park on the north side of the street. Is that for through streets, or does that?
That's for all streets in the city.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for instance, on Mary Lane with Sunset Prairie being developed, that new section within Sunset Prairie, this is meant to be compelling. I mean, we have the situation, I think, in Arlington Ridge and Greenbelt. The new section is already planned to be parking on only one side.
I would just say I appreciate the extra time, to do my research and talk to my neighbors. Particularly, I think density matters in some of these, situations. And I just know, like on Mary Lane, for instance, there are just a lot of cars through there. And when it becomes a safety issue, it's not a matter of inconvenience. It's a safety issue to me. And I do believe that there is one, on Mary Lane, and I'd say the same for Parkview Court. So I'm in agreement with kind of what's been said already. And again, I just didn't mean to slow things down, but I appreciate the time to do some due diligence on that.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. We don't oftentimes get 3 of them like that in different neighborhoods. Anything else? All right, Tracy, we need to do a roll call on the amendment.
Correct. Fortney,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. And then finally back to the resolution itself. Are there any last questions? Tracy, can we have roll call, please?
Was there a motion to establish?
Yes.
There was.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I was paying attention to the amendment.
Park,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Fortney,
I think I'm confused on what the vote is. For,
Oh, I'm sorry. We just amended the resolution to exclude Ash Court, but to keep Mary Lane and Parkview as proposed.
so we're
That's
voting
passed, so
for
now we're going
parking on
back
one
to-
side?
So now we're
This
going
is
back
vote
to,
for one side.
yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and clarify.
Yeah, no, this vote is for the amended resolution, which includes parking on one side for Mary and Parkview, parking on both sides for Ash.
No changes to Ash Court. Ash Court has been removed from the list with the amendment.
Okay, so that's also a vote for Ash.
That's already been done. The removing Ash from the list was
Okay.
just done.
All right, so I'll say nay.
Okay.
Wason,
Aye.
Motion carries 3-1. Thank you all. Item 21 is Mickelson third rezoning. This is third consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2026-10, an ordinance amending the zoning designation for certain property located in North Liberty, Iowa from RS6 single unit residence district to RD10 two unit residence district, and from ID interim development district to RS7 single unit residence district. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
By Wason, seconded by Smith. Any last questions? Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Fortney,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. And item 22 is Mickelson third preliminary plat. Item A, Russ's staff and planning commission recommendation.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. This is, the zoning is the third reading, and those are two small little squares you see up there. The one in orange and the one in blue is the rezoning for the third reading. And so those rezonings are from RS6 to RD10, and then the small one is ID to RS7. And then the larger red is the location of the preliminary plat. The overall development is 22.44 acres. Again, here's zoning and future land use. Much of the zoning stays intact of when they did the rezoning a year or two ago. And I think we went through pretty substantial efforts to work with the neighborhood to achieve compatibility with some of the zonings in there. So that would remain intact. And then internal to the development more is where you would see some of the higher development. Here's the preliminary plat. Again, there was a road ultimately that was platted that would have connected to Forever Green Road. We just don't see a need for that. And so you see the road with a cul-de-sac and then coming up and making connections to the neighborhood. Pointed this out with the rezoning, but we have a little bit of an offset with Sutner Drive. It's not terribly uncommon in urban development. You see it with Main Street out here. You see it with Stewart Street out there. We'd love them to line up, but really our hand was forced because we have Sutner already in Forever Green Estates, and so we felt the need to continue that road a little bit. And just the way the subdivision was stacking up, you would have had a lot of accesses to the north, and we just didn't think we needed that many of them. And then here's that area to the south that I mentioned, would not connect a road through there. However, utilities would go through there. We've talked about vacating that right away, but we would need to retain an easement for public utilities. We did have a virtual good neighbor meeting on May 18th, as I talked about with the rezoning. It was well attended. I think some people had some questions about drainage, which is a common theme of development requests. I thought the engineer did a pretty good job talking through. You know, there was some temporary drainage features that were constructed, and now we have a large pond to the south. I think John wanted me to note that would be a wet pond. But that kind of diverts some of that was going in certain directions and now would go to here. So I think they did a pretty good job of that. We don't have any objections to the request. We have 2 findings for the zoning, and then we have 2 findings for the plat recommendation. Both votes were unanimous. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Russ. Are there any questions? We'll move to item B. Is there an applicant presentation? Thanks for sticking with us until the very end here.
Brian Cummings with MMS Consultants here on behalf of the developer. I think Russ summed everything up, so I'm just kind of here if there had any questions.
What kind of fish are going in the pond?
Not sure at the moment. I would like
Thanks for asking him a question. Appreciate that.
I would like a little bit of everything.
Be here for all this whole time for not getting a question asked.
Russ, does the numbering on the street doesn't change in sequential order, does it, with it offset?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Since it's going east-west, it'll follow that, numbering sequence going in that direction.
Thanks, Brian. Item C is resolution number 2026-94, a resolution approving the preliminary subdivision plat for Mickelson 3rd, North Liberty, Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Fortney. Any questions? Tracy, roll call, please.
Fortney,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 23, any old business out there? New business?
Mayor, I'd like to highlight something that I saw this week on the socials. Murray Elite and the Murray Foundation is doing an event at Hy-Vee Centennial Center. I'm not a spokesperson for any of that, but it caught my eye because of the collaborations that Murray is already working with around our communities in the region before his doors have even opened. So very appreciative of the work that's going into the nonprofit sector prior to their doors even opening. So I'd encourage folks to look that up. Just Google the Murray Foundation and see for yourself.
Thanks for bringing that to our attention. Anything else?
The building is really looking good.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Smith, seconded by Wason. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank